Prime Minister's basically saying this is, this is an individual decision. But his cabinet doesn't seem to be following the rules. They're supposed to keep stum, but Louise Haigh this morning was pretty clear. She's going to vote for it.
Yeah, well, it's very difficult on an issue like this to basically get the cabinet to say nothing, particularly when it has consequences for people's own departments. I think it's very significant that Shaban Mahmood, the Justice Secretary, huge implications cost-wise for the Justice Department in terms of judicial sign-off. Wes Streeting, big implications for his department. In fact, if the bill passes, the bill says the Secretary of State has to outline, there's all kinds of details that are just missing from the bill that the Secretary of State has to outline in terms of regulations. He's got to set up new monitoring systems for the chief medical officers. So it's not really sustainable to think that cabinet ministers can't talk about an issue that directly affects their brief. And the issue is that Starmer himself said that he wanted this vote to happen. He said he made a promise to Esther Rantzen. So he's not really dealing with it quite as neutrally as he seems to want his cabinet to. And the other thing is that the rules say that if it's a private member's bill and the cabinet is going to agree collective neutrality, it needs to do it on the basis of an impact assessment. Has there been one? The fact that Wes Streeting has commissioned his own department suggests there hasn't been one. So something's gone wrong in the process around this.
Do we think that this is going to be a problem, or is it going to just go away? I mean, the sense is that actually it might not get through.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's a problem for the government in the sense of if Keir Starmer wants it to get through, because we think privately does actually agree with legalising some kind of assisted dying. And this is not the best way to go about it. I mean, the fact that it came through a private member's bill, perhaps the government couldn't really help that. And the process that happened since then has meant that there's just not been enough impact assessments, discussions. Even the debate itself is only 5 hours long. So it just doesn't feel like the right way to approach such a tricky topic.
What do you think, Salma?
So I agree. I also think that if you do have a position on it, there's no point in forcing cabinet neutrality, because part of that discussion, part of that debate, as Sonia says, must involve the department. But also, I think we all have a right to know where cabinet ministers and the Prime Minister is on this issue. Yes, it's an issue of conscience. Yes, it's an issue of where your morals might be, where your ethics might be. But we, as the public, have a right to know where people stand and what their arguments are, because if they do vote in favour, I mean, I'm personally against it, but if they do vote in favour, I would like to hear the arguments.
And I think one other question is, there have been reports that actually Number 10 were pushing this behind the scenes and wanted this private member's bill to be taken up. And there's the substantive issues, like Salma, I'm against it on the basis that this bill doesn't have sure enough safeguards. But on the political issue, why did Starmer want this debate to happen in the first few months? It seems like a crazy decision politically. He should have done it in a different way.